Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode, a special Thanksgiving week episode of Title Tuesdays. My name's Kevin Tacher, the founder and CEO. We are on location the week leading up to Thanksgiving talking about hard money. We're here live at EquityMax here in Fort Lauderdale. This is going to be a longer episode. I want you to come in. We're going to meet with Brad and Greg, the owners. We're going to talk to them about what makes them unique in this industry to hopefully make you more money. So let's go in, let's sit down. We'll talk to Brad and Greg. We'll find out how we can take your business to the next level for 2017. Come on in. Hey everybody, so welcome back to another episode of Title Tuesdays. This is a special Thanksgiving edition. You're watching this a couple of days before Thanksgiving, and we love to give thanks to our clients, our friends, and our family. And today we're on location at EquityMax with Brad and Greg. So thank you for joining us today.
Our pleasure.
On this show.
Thank you. Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble's right. Yeah, you know, we always look at, when the holiday time comes up, everyone in their business is always looking about what do you have gratitude for? What do you appreciate in your business? And, for us, we've been so blessed doing business with you guys. We wanted to come into a special episode more to educate all the viewers out there, because there's so many viewers that are investors. It's very investor driven. And the number one question for them is, where do you find your team? How do we close on a deal? Because a lot of them just don't have the money. So we're doing this show today. We're going to produce it. We're going to talk a little bit about hard money. We're going to talk a little bit about what the requirements are. And one of the things that I like when I come over to EquityMax and we deal with them, and every time we see, they get up at these investor meetings and talk, it's always that you're lending your own money. So I think let's start off with that, because I think what sets you apart from any of these other lenders out there is that you're lending your own money, which means what to the investor that's watching?
Well, at the end of the day, when you are trying to buy a property, the seller is always going to want to close as quickly as possible. And a lender that lends their own money is a financing source that is going to be able to close as quickly as possible. Think about it. If you are like almost every other lender out there that borrows to then lend out, when they get a loan, they have to go to their investors and see if that loan fits their investors' criteria. That takes time. And in a matter of days, that could be the difference of you buying a property or not buying a property. Because it's our own money, we don't have to go to the investor. We are the investor. When you call EquityMax, you speak to Brad, myself, you don't speak to an account rep, and we will tell you whether we can do the loan or not. And if we can, the ball starts rolling from that point on, and it's a quick close.
I think there are a lot of probablys in this business. And, probably we can close it, a lender might tell you. But we know right away if we can close it. As a matter of fact, I think the synergy between a hard money lender and a title company like Independence is very important, because we actually will close deals with title impairments, code violations, building violations. If we know the borrower, it makes it easier, but the communication with the title company is very important. Sometimes we deal with title companies that are represented by people calling us from overseas that are not local. We don't speak to the owner. They really are just going by the book. And I think when real estate investors are talking about buying a property that you can make $25,000 to $40,000, the speed and the ease of closing is very important. And that synergy between the lender and the title company is critical.
We were at the BRIA Expo a couple of weeks ago, and Brad came over and said, hard money, easy title. And that was kind of what sparked us to schedule this. And it's really true. You put your hard money lenders together with a good title company that's investor friendly, which is very important. There's so many underwriting requirements that if you work with a title company that understands the process, your requirements get a lot easier, and you don't have to watch every little thing, because the people you're doing business with actually know their job and they know what they're doing. So
I'll tell you one thing that sometimes happens, and that is there are a lot of deals that we get that we are ready to close, and for instance, a municipal lien and permit search isn't done. The title company has not worked with us previously. They don't know our requirements, and that, like I said previously, holds up a closing. It holds up the transaction getting done, and it could give people hesitancy, i.e. the seller. And when you're working with, a title company that you've worked with in the past, and especially a good one like Independence, they know what your requirements are. So even before you say, order me the lien search, it's already in the process of being done and processed.
That's awesome. So for those of you that are watching, we're talking about, we say hard money, private money. These are investors. These are when you're going to buy these fixer-uppers that you can't walk into the bank, or you may be an investor there that's trying to get into this market and your credit may not be so good, or you lost your job, you don't have any income, and or you took some mentoring program and you're trying to get into a deal, but you don't have the money. And this is where hard money lending comes into play, where now you're able to go to someone like Brad and Greg and say, you know what, I have this property, I don't know what to do. And there's so many of you out there, they just have no clue what to do. And now's the time, the holidays are here. Now's the time to start planning for 2017. 2016's gone. We're watching this on, the week of Thanksgiving, and soon it's going to be, the rest of the holidays, New Year's, and now we're back into 2017. So for the people that are watching, you need to align yourself with a good hard money lender that knows what they're doing, that knows how to underwrite a deal. And the best part I like is people always come to me first because they see me at all the meetings and they say, I have this deal, I don't know if it's a good deal. And the first thing I always tell them is, take it to a hard money lender. And if you take it to someone like EquityMax, they are going to tell you if you're getting a good deal or not, because they're not going to want to lend on a bad deal. So if they're willing to give you the money, it's got to be a good deal.
I would also say that Independence and EquityMax both have the capability of lending and closing statewide. And there's opportunities all over Florida. Greg developed our Central and North Florida business on his own. We were already well established in South Florida. If you find a property in another county outside of the Southeast Tri-County area, you don't have to search around for another lender, another title company. We both have the capability of closing it anywhere in the state.
Yeah. And a couple of good things also, because again, we close with a lot of investors that use a lot of different lenders. And one of the challenges that we see, all of a sudden they're getting ready to close at the end of the month, it's a Thursday or a Friday, and then the investor will call us and say, well, the hard money lender's not ready yet. And we say, what do you mean they're not ready? It's because they have to arrange with maybe another investor to fund the deal, and it doesn't get
That's
there.
the probably, where the other lender will say, yeah, we're probably okay, and then a day before they can't. And we're closing a deal this morning that we were asked to close 2 days ago. No probably on our part.
Yeah, so they're sending it from their bank account directly to the title company once the attorney authorizes that wire to be released. So it's pretty unique. So let's talk a little bit so they understand what goes into a hard money loan. So if I'm an investor, I bring you a deal, and what process, when we talk about, let's say, underwriting, what is the underwriting process from the time that deal comes over to your desk from one of these new investors out there?
Well, we want to take a look at the property address. We want to know what you're paying for it. We would like to see an executed contract just to make sure it looks normal. There are a lot of instances where we look out for our investors. They may be buying from a wholesaler or someone else, and we just want to make sure that the transaction is an arm's length transaction. Additionally, we'll ask for a 3-score credit report.
First time only.
First time only, thank you.
No other documentation.
And we don't even have a minimum credit score, so that's the best part. We've done deals with borrowers with scores in the 400s. We've done them for borrowers with scores in the 700s.
So you just want to make sure that they're a decent person, and people have, and we hear that a lot, where people may have had a short sale. It's understandable in our business. Someone may have had a short sale, a foreclosure. Doesn't mean you're not going to lend them the money, just means you may be a little bit more cautious in your underwriting.
They basically
process.
have to breathe. That's about it.
Yeah.
No asset verification, no income verification, very, very easy. Greg or I or Ellie here in our office will get the property up on the computer screen. We will quickly, hopefully, agree to a loan to value. We will ask upfront for a very small inspection fee, which the borrower will get credited back against his closing costs at closing. Within 24 hours, one of our people will be out to see the property, take some pictures. Once we get that small inspection fee, we'll prepare a set of documents to open the file. Our attorney will get it, the title company, Independence, will get it. Independence begins running title and lien search if they haven't already, and we're on our way. Within 4 to 10 days, we're ready to close, or sooner.
And I think Independence and my father will echo these sentiments on the note of credit report. Some people don't have credit, period. For instance, foreign nationals. There are a lot of foreign nationals that want to put their money in South Florida and Florida real estate. I think I speak for you in that we welcome the opportunity to invest our time and our money with foreign national clients that want to buy and sell real estate.
I think a lot of it is more, when you talk about the credit part, is to make sure that they're not someone that's going to skip out on paying their bills. Not that they didn't have a hardship. So you want to know who you're lending to, which makes sense.
Right. Sometimes those credit reports will have issues occasionally, like a federal tax lien, which could be a red flag. Okay, but apart from that, really, there is no minimum, and it really comes down to the equity. It really does.
All right, so we know we're lending on good properties. We're lending on good investors that are decent people, and they're going to repay you. But the bottom line is security towards the property. What about interest rates? We talk about interest rates and fees. Again, another question that comes across our desk all the time. When people ask, well, what's their interest rate? And a lot of times I tell people, forget about the interest rate on a hard money loan, because the point is you're only holding it a short period of time. So even if you were paying 50% interest rate, what's the difference? You're holding it 3 to 6 months, and hopefully less, you'll turn around and sell it. But what's a general guide for them?
I would say generally we are at 12% and then 2 origination points. But I caution other borrowers that when they are shopping and they are looking at various financing options, to always look beyond the interest rate and the loan origination fee. Like Brad said, we charge a small inspection fee, $150. If you deal with any other lender out there, they're going to require an appraisal, and that's $400. So right there, you're more expensive. Some lenders require an attorney's fee upfront in the amount of $1,500. So these additional costs can add up to points and charges that exceed what our interest rate and cost would be, even if they are at a lower rate.
Well, and there's other issues too. For instance, you got to ask about things like prepayment penalty.
Insurance.
And insurance. I mean, some lenders will say give you a great rate, but they might have 6 months to a year prepayment penalty. We only have 3 months minimum interest. If a real estate investor is going to hold it short term, who wants a rate that's lower by 1%, but then be stuck with, let's say, 8 months of minimum interest when they sell it in 4? Or insurance. We only require fire and theft. We don't require wind. We don't require flood.
We don't require reserves.
That's right. And wind is very expensive, has a very high deductible, which almost disenables your ability to use it. And those are all costs that add up. Not to mention the fact the single most important issue here, really, when a real estate investor is talking about a deal where they're going to make, 5-digit profit, you got to get it closed fast. What if you pay $1,000, $2,000 more even along the course of a loan? If the title company and the hard money lender can get that deal closed fast, do it. Because if you miss the deal because you're futzing around, with a lower rate here and there, you lose the deal.
So hard money, easy title, fast close, profit to everyone. Everyone get in, get out, get paid. And as we're going to wind down, I think the last part that I'd like to talk to them about is, because I know you have some unique lending programs. Most of the time you're going to see that standard interest-only 1-year note. Do you have other types of programs that you offer, maybe long-term for the investor that may want to hold it and rent it, but doesn't have the credit to go to a conventional lender?
Sure. Our loan is it's framed as a 17-year loan with no prepayment penalty. The first 2 years are interest only. And people say, oh, well, I only want it for 2 years. That's fine. We do not charge a prepayment penalty if you pay on time. And that makes it flexible, above all, for the investor to decide when they want to pay it off. At 6-month mark, 8-month mark, at the 24-month mark, 3 years down the road, because if you are making, for instance, a high cash flow return on a rental investment, I've done it personally. You can service and you can support a 12 to 15% interest rate if you are making a high return on a high cash flow rental investment.
Not that you want a high rate for a long time, but you're not under the gun with a short-term balloon. Most other hard money lenders have more or less about a year term. What happens at the end of that year? Well, legally, that hard money lender can lawfully charge you as much as 18% interest because you're in default. They can charge you points, a recheck of title.
Modification fees?
That all adds up.
That's important for those that are watching. I mean, this is something that sets them apart. Not only do they lend their own money and they underwrite themselves, so if you get Ellie, Brad, or Greg on the phone and they say, we're lending on it, it's a good deal. But if you decide that you want to fix it up and then all of a sudden someone comes knocking on the door, they want to rent it for more than what you're paying, now you can keep that loan. You don't have to worry in 12 months or 24 months or 36 months that hard money lender is going to come knock on the door saying, investor wants their money back, we need to pay off.
That's
Yeah,
right. We don't have to ask the investor or the underwriter. We are the investor
And
and the
I would
underwriter.
say two more things that we have done in conjunction with independents and successfully. There are some lenders out there that do not lend to land trusts. We do lend to land trusts. There are some lenders out there that do not lend to self-directed IRAs, which is a great tax-deferred investment vehicle if you want to invest in real estate. We do. EquityMax lend to self-directed IRAs, and independents will close on those deals.
And those are non-recourse loans. I mean, you don't even have to guarantee those personally.
So there's a lot of strategies that we covered here. Feel free to play back. As we're going to wrap this up, we want you to subscribe below. Watch our newsletters. We issue these newsletters every single Tuesday with just so much powerful education. I appreciate you guys taking the time to really, educate them a little bit, because what we found is, we do these shorter episodes, and they're just not getting enough. So when we do some of these longer ones, they're constantly telling me they're going back and they're hitting pause and they're taking notes and they're writing it down. So this is a little bit longer of an episode. Feel free to save it, bookmark it, subscribe below, and just make sure you're educating yourself, because here you have so many years of knowledge and just a wealth of knowledge that they're always an open book to just share with you and educate you, and hopefully the idea is you're going to be more successful, because if you watching haven't done your first deal, now you go do your first deal, I get a closing, they get a loan, you get a property, and it's a win-win for everyone. So, now's the time, because 2017 planning, I know I'm in planning mode for 2017. My plans are done for 16.
New Year's resolution.
We're ready for 17.
It's Thanksgiving. Don't be a turkey. Choose the right lender and title company.
There you go. So there's the moral of the story. Don't be a turkey. Get in, get out, get paid, make some money. Thank you very much from our family at Independence to your family at EquityMax.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, and for those of you watching, our office is going to be closed on Thursday and Friday. We'll reopen on Monday, and we wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching the episode. Don't forget to subscribe below. Watch next week's episode, because it's going to be really cool, and then we're going to start producing some more that are going to be a little bit more lengthy to educate you, empower you, and just hopefully for 2017, you take your business to the next level, because if you go to the next level, we go to the next level. It's giver's gain. We'll see you at the closing table.
Happy Thanksgiving.